I don't know what to think of the most recent signing for the Chargers, but here's what I know. It absolutely makes sense. Like, it makes sense because why not? You have the money to go out and get him. He's a guy who understands what offensive coordinator Greg Roman is about and what he wants to do. So now you got a couple of them. Basically, start calling the Chargers the Baltimore Ravens West, or the Baltimore Ravens with, dare I say it, a better quarterback. All right. And the Baltimore Ravens with better jerseys. All right. So anyways, and the Baltimore Ravens with better weather. Like, let's just talk about all the good things. Baltimore Ravens with the better Harbaugh. Look, this is not where I was planning to go with this video. We have gotten off track very, very quickly. Yesterday, the Chargers agreed to a 1-year contract with J.K. Dobbins. And I am going to tell you why this is a better signing than you thought it was. All right, so Gus Edwards, Gus Buss, he's already there. He's already there. He's working. He's excited. He's ready to be there. All right, and now you have J.K. Dobbins that's there too. And this signifies a big move for a couple reasons. And I'm going to get into some of the stats with J.K. Dobbins in just a minute. Okay, but before I get into that and what I think he could bring to your team, I first want to talk about what else this means. This is small, but it's so big. Because I have to admit, I've been wondering more and more what the Chargers would do with the 5th pick, just because that 5th pick, if Marvin Harrison Jr. is there, he's a phenomenal wide receiver, but do they take him because he's an Ohio State Buckeye and Jim Harbaugh and his allegiance to Michigan? The Baltimore Ravens running back J.K. Dobbins is a Buckeye. He came in, he's from Ohio State. He played all of his years at Ohio State against Jim Harbaugh. And in fact, Harbaugh didn't beat Ohio State when J.K. Dobbins was the running back. So you can't sit here and be like, he's not holding that allegiance. He's not holding that line, right? Of like, no Buckeyes allowed, which I would never think he would do. But it is nice to see that he truly isn't doing it. All right. It's really nice to see. And seeing what the Chargers' run game looked like last year, it's really nice to see that there are a couple of proven running backs that are now with the Chargers. And by proven, I mean Gus Buss. J.K. Dobbins, believe it or not, has not been proven. I was absolutely shocked to see how little he has played. When he's played, and I know he's had, knee injuries, all this kind of stuff, so he might be done. But he's worth a flyer. And he's worth a flyer for multiple reasons. Number one, he's 25 years old. I understand he's a running back. But even in running back years, he still has another 3 or 4 years to go. Right? He's got the prototypical size, 5'10", 215 pounds. He's got enough size, speed combo. But here's the thing. He has played 3 seasons in the NFL. All of them with Baltimore. Every single one. He has had a total of 234 rush attempts. That's it. I knew he was injured a lot, but I thought he had more than that. The most coming his rookie year when he had 134 rushing attempts. I'll show you the numbers here. All right, he had 134 rushing attempts for 805 yards for a whopping 6 yards per carry. I'll zoom in on it in case you can't see it. All right, in 2022, he had 92 attempts. 92 attempts, only 106 snaps. If he was in the game, he was getting the ball. People knew he was getting the ball, and he still ran a 5.7 clip. Last year, he got hurt, game 1. Touchdowns, right? Touchdowns, yards per carry, all of it was exactly what you would hope for in a running back. All of it. This makes sense to me, what they're doing. What they're doing makes sense because they are loading up with good running backs. You still have Kelly, right? And you can see what he can be. But now you're loading up with running backs that are proven. All right? Then you go and you look over and you see a guy like Gus Edwards, right? And you see him and he is 29 years old. And I understand that. But again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say something very unique. He doesn't have a lot of miles on the tires. for a guy as old as he is, and for a guy who's put up the numbers that he has, for a guy who's consistently averaged over 5 yards a carry until last year, he has only ran the ball 699 times. He only has 3,400 yards, and his yards per attempt are 4.9 on his career. That is very good. All of it's good. The amount of touchdowns for the amount of carries is good. The yards per attempt is very good. He is a good running back, and people don't realize it. He's just a bowling ball. He's a bus. That's why you call him Gus Buss. Not just because it's his name, but because the dude weighs 238 pounds. Like, he's a big guy. He played his college ball at Rutgers, but he doesn't have a lot of miles on the tires. All right, J.K. Dobbins has even less miles on the tires, but his body is acting like he's put on the most miles you've ever seen of anyone in your life. And part of that's because he started playing as a freshman at Ohio State, and he had all that kind of stuff. But I just want to talk about these are the kind of moves to get experience in your backfield. Like, why not do it? And maybe the California sunshine and the fresh air out there, kind of fresh, right? Sorry. Anyways, we have fresh air here. It's just really cold, right? But you get the California sun. It does a body good, right? And so maybe, just maybe, when you get in there and you have a better strength and conditioning coach and you have a better, hopefully, like, there's a lot of injuries on the Ravens every year. So something's going on. And Michigan used to have injuries every single year. And they figured it out over the last few years. There were barely any injuries. And some of it's because they were more talented. And naturally, when you're more talented, you're not going to get hurt as much than the other teams you're playing against. But part of it is because they figured it out. They figured out what you need to do in order to stay healthy. They made health a priority. So that is what we're looking at. That's what I'm seeing with this team. And that is why I believe this is a bigger move than you think, because it completes the backfield. Now you are at a point where, you have a couple of different players, right? You have a couple of different players that are proven running backs. You have a young guy that is not proven, right? But, hey, maybe he could do something, right? Like, maybe he could do something. And so now you're in a spot where you're good to go. You're in a spot where you're good to go. And that's why I think overall, and I'll pull up this position for you right now, even on PFF, all right? They have J.K. Dobbins in there. You have Dotson. You got Spiller. I think I said Kelly earlier. That's on me. Hopefully you didn't stop watching at the moment that I said that. Who had some stuff going on last year. And you have to ask yourself, like, okay, could we go into a season with these three guys as our main three running backs? And I think you'd have to answer yourself with, yeah, probably. I think you would be fairly comfortable doing it. The question is, like, will you let it happen? Spiller's fast. He's 22 years old. All right? He's got some stuff. He could be the future, but now you have other guys that will really do a good job of helping him in the in-between. All right. Hopefully you like the video. Hopefully you like your backfield. I don't think there's a team I'm more excited to see what they do at the draft than the Chargers. All right. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.